Hi everyone, welcome back to Brookdale Farm. Well, we've had our first major summer thunderstorm just go over us about a week ago now, and we were lucky we didn't get much damage from it. We didn't even get that much rain from this. Some people did get a lot of rain, but it did do an awful lot of damage. There were a lot of trees down in some areas, but it also did major damage to Western Power's infrastructure. So there were blackouts through the Perth Hills, through most of the wheat belt, and right out to Kalgoorlie even. This has caused major issues, and it took them ages to get everybody reconnected. So I just thought I'd take this opportunity to give a few ways that we make our life a little bit easier when there's no power. Telstra and the other phone companies have done a fantastic job to get backup generators out to as many of the mobile phone towers as they can to get everything working and get communications back online. The trouble with mobile phone towers is they cover such a small area. So this one's just out of Gidgegannup, and this is supplying all the mobile communications around Gidgegannup. This is a reasonably large population centre, but back out the other side of Koondal and all the more remote ones that have only got a few people running off the towers, there's just not enough generators available at the moment because this power outage was so widespread. They cannot get a generator onto every single phone tower. So you just need to be aware on these phone towers all have about 4 hours battery backup, something like that, depending on how much use they're getting. But you need to be aware that when the power goes off for an extended period of time, all your mobile phone communication is going to go down as well. I believe that round here in Western Australia, the emergency services use Channel 5 on the UHF radios, so that may be a good channel to monitor and to use for any communications that you're going to need. Also, Channel 40 will get you communication an awfully long way as well, because there's a lot of people using that who can repeat it for you down the line. It does end up being a bit like Chinese whispers, but you will get messages through that way. Now, we have always had a gas stove in our kitchen for cooking on, partly because we've always lived in a regional area, and partly because our family just seems to have liked gas better. Now, this is our old gas stove. It's up in the shed. We still use it when we've got big groups of people that don't fit in the house. So we've got a gas stove in the house, and we've got this one up here. That means that we can always cook food. Power, no power, whatever, we know that we can still cook food, make a hot cup of tea, cook our toast, everything like that. If you don't have a gas stove at home, a really good emergency option are these little camp stoves. Now, these are available from Kmart, places like that, pretty cheaply. Let me just pick it up, get it out of there. They've got a disposable gas. I don't particularly like these because of the disposable gas cylinder, but they have a disposable cylinder. You buy these in packs of about 6. They just clip in there. I think it's a bit of a waste. Push the lever down on the front, that connects it. Turn it, and you're away. It clipped out. That's why I didn't have the gas cylinder clipped in properly. These are a great emergency alternative. You do need to be aware of the safety factor with these. It's not as good as a standard gas stove, but this will get you dinner, hot cup of tea, everything else that you might need in an emergency. and they fit in the neat little carry case. They don't take up much room, and they're not that expensive. And whenever the power goes off for an extended period of time, or any period of time really, refrigeration becomes an issue. This is our little freezer up in the shed, once again, that we use when we've got extra meat that we need to freeze down. Now, the first thing you can do to help with your refrigeration is get a doona, throw it over your fridge, tuck it in nicely all the way around. I can't do this one-handed, but putting a doona over your fridge or a blanket or anything like that will help keep the cold in. And if you don't open your fridge for very often, leave it closed as much as you can, it will stay cold for quite a long time. When you do need to open it, think about what you need to get out. Open the door, get everything out as quick as you can, close it up. Don't stand there with the door open. And your fridge will actually stay cold for probably a couple of days before you start really losing stuff out of it. If you have a generator that you can run for a couple of hours just to bring it back down to temperature, it means you don't need to be running your generator the whole time. Your fridge will stay cold longer than it normally does. Water is also very important in a blackout. If you're running a pressure pump and things like that, you need to be able to make sure that you've either got enough power from a generator to run your pump, or to have a tap on the bottom of your tank with a pipe with a hose out of it so that you can fill up your drinking water bottles. We don't run a pressure pump here. We're lucky that we've got a tank that's right up on top of the hill, and we pump up from the shed, which is right down, way down the bottom there, and the house is a bit further down from that. Now we've got a tank behind the shed with a pump on it that we pump up to this tank. This tank then gravity feeds back down to the house, so we do not need to run a pressure pump all of the time. If the pump on the tank down at the shed breaks down, or there's some issue with that, I've got a good week that I can fix that before we have any issues at all with water. If you can, it's worth getting a backup generator, especially if you've got pressure pumps you need to run or something like that. It's worth talking to your electrician or any electrician to work out how much power you're going to need, so you can size your generator to what you're actually going to use. That way you don't get one that's too small and is just won't run what you need to. You can get some really nice, most of the Yamaha generators, most of the Honda generators are pretty good quality generator sets. You do pay a bit extra for them. You can get some cheaper ones too. They work fine. If you have the money, it's also worth getting a changeover switch put in your meter box with a dedicated generator plug. This means that you can just run one cable from your generator to your meter box, flick the switch over to generator, and that will power everything in your house. Otherwise, you've got to run a lead from your generator to your computer and to your fridge and to your washing machine and to every individual item that you need, that you want to use, and it's very hard to plug your lighting in and stuff like that. So if you can, get a changeover switch put in your meter box. On the stinking hot days when there's no air conditioning because the power's off, close your house up first thing in the morning and open it up when it cools down in the evening, so you get the cool breeze through. When it just gets too hot inside, out here under the trees is about the best spot you can be, out in the shade. And one of these little spray bottles works really well just to mist yourself down, and this works like an evaporative air conditioner. Keep spraying a little bit of mist over your body. any air movement and breeze will help cool you down. We've spent an awful lot of time out under these trees here because we only got air conditioning for the first time last year, and this works brilliantly. For light at night, these little rechargeable lights that you can get from Bunnings work brilliantly. They're not that cheap, but they're rechargeable, they last for ages. We've had really good use out of these. The light coming from them is a little bit funny when you're trying to use it inside. Often we sit them on their back and we'll get an old 3 litre clear plastic milk bottle or something like that, cut the top off, sit it over it, and this just gives a bit of diffusion to the light and it spreads it out through your room a lot more. And we find that that is the best way to use these. They do come with a handle and a hook. The hook's broken off this one, so you can hang them up on the wall too and shine them down on your stove or wherever you need a bit more light than just sort of the ambient light. Candles also give a really nice light. We've all had a romantic dinner by candlelight, so while the power's out, why not do something fun and have a nice dinner by candlelight again? It's also a really good opportunity to teach all the kids about fire safety and how to safely use the candle so they don't burn their house down, and make it into a bit of fun for them as well. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.